Welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show, and you're still watching our signature segment, See the Stories. Now, this is my favorite segment as well, Rasha, because we get to talk, casually and talk about almost everything. And right now, because today is special, this is the first weekend of the holy month of Ramadan.
That's right.
And I am waiting for my friend to deliver me something now.
Oh yeah? Who is it and what is he delivering?
I love free food because, he's been traveling almost all around Indonesia.
Yes.
Or probably, through the places that we've never been as Indonesians.
As Indonesian, yes.
And he must have tasted lots of delicacies.
That's right.
Right.
And we have so many varieties across Indonesia too, right?
Of course. And also, when it comes to us, it's always about food.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right.
It's always about food.
Yes. So last time I actually recommended several food to Hans,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And
true.
this time your friend is going to deliver it to us.
Yes, of course. Now, I'm still waiting for him. Now, if I'm not mistaken, oh, there you go, Kristian.
Welcome, Kristian
Thank you.
Hansen.
How are you guys?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, very good.
How are
Good to
you?
see you. Very good.
Nice
Wow.
to meet you.
Now, this
Likewise.
is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
With, in Indonesian, we call it rantang. So it's
Yes.
some sort of stacked container. And, Kristian, can I open it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
So
this
I
is-
thought in the spirit of Ramadan, I would bring you a little something for puasa, yeah?
Yes, for
So-
iftar.
oh, look at that.
Yeah, and a bit travel inspired, We have
Okay.
different things. So we have the Ika Ambon.
Ika Ambon. So this is Ika Ambon, yeah?
Yep,
Yes.
from Medan. And, I love anything with coconut. And this is with coconut
me
milk,
too.
sugar,
Yes.
banana as well.
Yes.
It's so good. I went to Medan what was it, last year when I did my Sumatra journey, right? But we also have a non-dessert as well. This is like a fish dumpling called batagor.
That's right.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've had it. And with peanut sauce, really good as well.
Well, Indonesians love our it's peanut sauce.
Yes.
We love our peanut sauce so much. Like
Yeah.
For
everything
sure.
is probably
Sure.
with peanut sauce.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
And this one.
another dessert.
This
pisang
is
hijau.
very unique.
From-
Can you share more about this one?
Wow,
Yeah,
this
sure.
is so fragrant.
It's from Makassar in Sulawesi, and it has banana inside. Then they put this green pastry around it, and the color is actually made from leaves. So that's why you get also this, and then you have the porridge in, around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very colorful.
The rice flour and also coconut milk,
Also
mixed into one.
Yes, and also with syrup. I
With
believe.
syrup, and
Yes.
also like what he said, the color green is actually from daun suji, from the plant. Man, thank you so much for bringing
my
us this.
pleasure.
Can I just take? Oh no. I forgot. But Kristian, thank you,
You
so
have to
much for
wait
being
another
here.
few hours.
And lots of viewers seems to love your adventure show, including me. And how fun is it making the program?
It is a lot of fun. It is definitely hard work as well.
Yeah.
As I always tell when people ask me, when I had my office job in Jakarta, I would be in the office from Monday to Friday, right? But now my office, so to say, is on the back of a bike.
Okay, let's say no one ever watched you or no one ever known you before. What
yeah.
did you do at the office?
So, previously, I used to work with logistics. I've worked in various companies around the world, and I came here to Indonesia on a contract just before the pandemic. Then the whole WFH, working from home, and I think we all had some time to reevaluate our choices and
Of
our
course.
decisions.
True.
And mine was, I cannot live in such a big, beautiful country and only stay inside the office. So I had to find some way that I could explore it more. And
Yes.
very long story short, now I'm trying to make a series of video documentaries traveling from Sabang to Morocco
Yep.
over the course of 3 years, alone on my motorcycle.
How far along are you in that journey of 2 years?
That's a good question, because my original plan for the journey was for it to take 1 year. And then I started February 5th last year. So now I've been on the road for a bit more than 400 days.
Yes, almost a year. A year more, yeah.
Oh, more than a year.
that, yeah.
And I spent the first 6 months in Sumatra. And then I realized, okay, this is going to take a lot longer. So now I've already spent, Yeah, a bit more than a year, and I estimate before I reach Kilometer Null in Roque, Papua, it will probably be another 2.5 years
Okay.
if I'm fast.
Because you're traveling just by motorcycle, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so in the span of 400 days, how many cities have you been to?
Oh, that's a good question. I will say a lot. Because I go to new cities pretty much every day.
Because recently I saw your Instagram and you were in Kalimantan, in South Kalimantan, if I'm mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
South Kalimantan. But you seemed like you enjoyed yourself so much getting into the river with all the locals and stuff. But what is actually, I know this is hard, but what is the most interesting or memorable story that you've experienced during the past 400 days?
Yeah, you know, I always get this question, and there's so many. So I'm gonna give you probably the most memorable just from the last 2 months, because new things happen all the time. But over the last 2 months, I've been traveling through South Kalimantan and East Kalimantan, and it was just last month that I visited one of the most remote tribes in all of Kalimantan, in a village called Desa Juhu. It's in the mountains, South Kalimantan. The only way to get there is by hiking up and down 2 mountains on foot for, it will take you anything from 13 to 14 hours. That's the only way to get there.
13 to 14 hours. But another question, how did you find those places?
Yeah.
Because I've been living in Indonesia for the past 16 years.
Yeah.
For the past 16 years. I'm Indonesian in terms of blood and my family and stuff. Not a single day I've heard of Desa Juhu and all the places that you went to. How did you find them?
So one of the things that makes this journey possible for me is also my interest in learning. Every day I am talking with so many different people, and you know, you get a little story here, a little story there. I made a video about living with the Dayak Iban tribe in West Kalimantan.
Yeah, I know that.
Where I had the traditional tattoo made, the Muaterong. And actually, one of the people working with Aman is like an organization in Indonesia for indigenous people. They saw my video and they were like, "Oh, Chris, we would love for you if you could visit this area with meet these kind of indigenous people and this tribe." And they actually recommended me to go to Juhu. But when they said that, I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." I look on map. Okay, 3 hours hike more or less. On the day we start the hike, that's when I learned, yeah, maybe it will take 14 hours. I was like, but we made it.
So what's in there? Sorry, just to like focus on this
so
story, but like what's in there in that village?
The hike there is incredibly tough, and it had been raining, so it was, the most challenging hike I've done in Indonesia. But once you arrive, you're up in the mountains. You only see these like Teletubbies kind of hills, you know?
Teletubbies.
We remember.
I know that.
We remember.
I know that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and the rocks and these wooden houses that are built on poles because the terrain is so rugged.
Yeah.
Besides those 40 families that live there,
Only 40
families, all you see is green, green, green. Mountains. They live only off of what they can produce themselves in their fields. We did a rice ritual for the rice season.
Yeah.
And we ate we ate some
Questionable things?
I will say it like this. It was the first time I ever ate a civet cat.
Wait, civet cat.
I have a cat at home.
No, I heard about grasshoppers. I heard about crickets, but civet cats.
You know kopiluwak, yeah?
I know.
Yes.
So the civet cat eats the beans,
And then-
process them,
yeah.
and which gives it this special flavor. So the civet cats, they live in the jungle, mostly active during night. And the thing is, I didn't even know at the time I was eating a civet cat. So I came home one afternoon. I saw my friend. He was cutting up this animal, and it was after he had taken off the fur, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it looks a little bit like a dog, a little bit like a cat. And then I asked him, so what is this? And he was like, makan malam. I was like, yeah, but
What is it?
the problem was that most of the people living in Desa Juhu, they can't speak Indonesian.
Oh,
They
that's
speak
right.
Dayak Meratus. So he told me the name, and I was like, okay, great. We ate that cat for 4 days, And then when I got back from the trip, I had to Google it, and I was like, oh, that's what I ate.
How does it taste? Good?
Was it me, Tina?
Next question.
All right, so you went to many cities, including Desa Juhu, and also you saw Indonesia's diversity. Each city has their own unique culture and languages. People in Desa Juhu, they speak Dayak Maratus.
Yeah.
And in your opinion, how do you see tolerance practice in Indonesia, especially during the holy month of Ramadan?
Oh, you know, this is an interesting question because this is just a few days ago, they had the Nyepi in Bali, right?
That's right.
And I saw this reel on Instagram with a lot of people walking in the streets. You know, you have some Hindu walking in one line, and you had some Muslims walking in another line, wearing the hijab and everything. And they were walking past each other and like, oh, hello, smiling. And I was like, wow, this is like the perfect example of Indonesia. Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, you know?
Yes.
Live here with unity and diversity. And I have been in a lot of countries, but I've never been in a place where I feel like there is such an acceptance of various religions, various cultures, various languages. It's like, yeah, all one under the red and white, you know?
I'm actually very curious because you're a foreigner and probably in Jakarta, we're used to seeing foreigners. There's a lot of people coming abroad as well, Indonesian, but coming from abroad. But how are you treated, you know, in villages, you know, as a foreigner, because you look different than them?
Yeah, let's accept the fact that you're very bright. You'll be very bright, like the only white person in the village, let's say like that. And how were you treated?
You know, I'm trying to the best of my abilities to become more brown with the sun, you know, but I'm always wearing full motorcycle gear, the helmet, so I'm sorry if I'm a little bit pale, but they treat me really, really good. You know, this trip wouldn't still be ongoing if it wasn't like that, you know. This is a good example, you know. I just had a trip last month to a place called Mahakamulu. It's deep in East Kalimantan. The only way to get there is by taking a ferry first for 26 hours, then you take a speedboat for another 5 hours, then a longboat for 7 hours. There's no tourist that goes to Mahakamulu.
Oh my God.
One of the reasons why I wanted to go. When you get there, they have various different Dayak tribes, the Dayak Kenya, the Dayak Kayang, and they will give you a bracelet like this to welcome you in as a sign of you are now a part of this village. You are now accepted. You're welcome to walk freely. And it's like, which other place will you go where they offer you a gift the minute you arrive?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
So it's not only like amongst Indonesia, but apparently for a foreigner, they're also been very accepting.
But also, if I'm not misheard, you are also participating in the holy month of Ramadan by fasting. How is it fasting for you?
Oh, it's tough. I have the highest respect for all the Muslims that go through Ramadan this holy month because, of course, most of them have done it for several years, but still, the first day is tough.
The hardest.
You're so thirsty. You're actually more thirsty than you're hungry, right? I had a massive headache. It's a bit more difficult to focus, to work fast.
Of course.
But I really appreciate the dedication. And you know, it's not just for a few days, it's for a month. I fasted for 3 days.
3
and
days.
for a month, I mean, it's inspiring.
Now, let's say you are continuing your journey during this holy month of Ramadan.
Yes.
Will you? Okay, so how would you be able to adapt with the holy month of Ramadan during your journey? Let's say you want to drink, you want to eat, and no establishments opens because in Jakarta it's easier for you to find open establishments for eating and drinking.
Yeah.
But how is it out there?
So for me, it's relatively easy. There's always small, not Indomaret, but kind of smaller than that, where you can buy some. But during Ramadan, I try to focus on, you know, not standing in the middle of the street, chucking a liter of water, you know, eating.
Yeah.
Actually, as far as I know, if I eat or drink in front of someone who is fasting, they get the blessings, right?
Yes.
True.
But
Yes.
still, it can be challenging, especially in Kalimantan where it's so hot. So I try to be very careful with this, but it's not really a challenge, you know. I enjoy in the afternoon when it's time for buka puasa, you know.
Yeah.
Now in Samarinda, well, I'll be going back day after tomorrow. at the masjid, they have this big like food tent where everyone comes together for Buka Puasa. It's so special. People are so excited, and there's just, the month of Ramadan in Indonesia is just, special.
Is this your first time spending Ramadan in Indonesia?
This is my third time.
Even third
Third
time.
Yeah.
But very special because you're not in your old job, you're exploring Indonesia and meeting more people, right? Now, speaking about food, I know that food is always like one of our favorite and also yours, but I just have to wonder because Indonesian food is sometimes have a lot of strong herbs to it and also a bit spicy. Have you ever had some problem? Or do you actually enjoy strong flavored food and spicy food?
So the thing is, I love sambal.
Wow.
I love cabai rawit with my
Oh,
gorengan, you know.
that's my kind of man. That's
And
my
that
kind of boy.
has made you a true Indonesian, I believe.
Yeah, possibly. No, I really enjoy spicy food. I love Indonesian food as well. For example, the trip to Juhu, there we pretty much ate white rice for 9 days. So to be
Wow.
honest, when I come back from a trip like that, I will eat burger for 3 days straight. But besides that, it can be challenging to adjust, especially when you're coming to Indonesia for the first time as a foreigner. But I think the biggest challenge is a lot of the places I go, they won't even have a refrigerator to keep the food cool, you know, for several days.
Yeah.
So we'll stand outside. Sometimes maybe it will become a little bit bad. I will still eat it, and that can make you a bit upset. At Sumatra, I was sick 3 times in 1 month.
3 times.
3 times, like really sick.
bad.
Yeah. But you know,
Other than that,
part of the journey. You have
is
to
great.
you have to take the good with the bad, you know.
This is very interesting now, and we will continue the chat with Kristian. And but before that, we've been talking about some buka puasa things and the dishes and stuff. Now we want to see first my fellow host Kezia, who is cooking takjil for us. Okay, so I'm gonna see what she is actually making at the moment.
Get over here. Because I'm done prepping.
All right, so Kezia, what are these?
Let's show it to the
Okay,
audience.
I'll help you. What are these?
This is called biji salak. So it's basically like a giant boba.
Giant boba.
Giant boba. But
It is also made from tapioca flour.
that's right, tapioca flour and ubi, or sweet potato.
Sweet potato. So
That's right.
how did you make it? Like you mash it? Or?
So you can boil it or steam the potatoes, and then peel it off
Okay.
and mash it, mix with some tapioca flour, and then you knead it. And then just make balls. Small
And then after
little
that,
balls.
you dunk it into
And
what?
there are actually 3 steps in making this. First, you make the dough.
Okay.
And then second, you make the coconut milk mixture, which is also very simple. You need the coconut milk, you need some salt and some pandan leaf.
Okay.
And then the third step would be making the brown
sugar.
soup, which consists of water, brown sugar, and some pandan leaf as well, and
Of course.
a pinch of salt
A
to
pinch of salt.
make it balanced.
All right.
And then you will boil the giant bobas in here.
Oh, in the sugar solution.
Yes, until it floats.
All right. So
Yes.
that will come after this. See, the stories will continue after the break. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.